a follow-up from an article I covered, I think about 2 months ago now, and it has to do with the MonsterVerse on Apple, and in particular, the kaiju known as Godzilla. Apparently, they're pulling out all the stops on this thing on Apple because I don't know about you guys, but I don't think anybody actually watches Apple TV. Flaccid, do you have Apple TV? Do you watch anything? Chat?
No, it's funny enough. I have like almost every streaming service besides Apple. I have like Paramount, Hulu, HBO, Netflix, Disney Plus. I do not have Apple TV, and probably for the reason you're talking about, there's nothing on there.
Yeah, everything that comes out, it's like Invasion. I was like, okay, this looks cool, and then I actually watched the full trailer. I'm like, no, it doesn't. And now they're doing the MonsterVerse, and that includes the kaiju that we're seeing right here.
I don't even know anybody that has Apple TV. It's like the Tooth Fairy and Santa Claus, right? Does it really exist?
It does. They spent a hell of a lot of money on it. You know, there is way too many streaming options out there, in my opinion, and not enough quality things. There's a lot of content, but not a lot that really I even want to watch. I don't even care enough to sail the high seas to watch this trash. Flaccid, I guess, what's your take on this? Since because you have all of these streaming services, do you have them simply because you have extraordinarily bad taste, or is this for YouTube?
Yeah, it's mostly the bad taste. Yeah, like you said, it feels like people are just flooding content without actually making quality. And you could bring a lot of eyes to a streaming service if you had one great show. You know, Stranger Things did that for Netflix, I think, a lot. And then, HBO was the only reason why I have HBO is because of Game of Thrones. And now I'm just have it because of like some things are somewhat interesting to me. I don't know if this is going to be the thing that brings people to Apple TV though.
This Kaiju-Verse, this MonsterVerse that Apple is going to run with, I have no doubts it's going to include the same type of ESG score driven crap that drives all of their productions, but they're bringing on other people. Someone by the name of Matt Shackman, who is known for WandaVision, which isn't exactly a stellar resume lighter, as well as Game of Thrones. He's going to be directing the first 2 episodes of this Kaiju project on Apple. And we've talked about it before because they're bringing in a comic book writer. Matt Fraction is in on this. He's writing alongside Chris Black, who did Star Trek Enterprise as well as Outcast. And there are people from the Toho Company Limited, as well as Hiroto Matsusuka and Takamasa Arita that are going to produce for this. So, this is another one of those shows where, it looks like they're getting the right people in a locker room, but I don't think these corporate ESG scores are going to allow them to make this.
You have, like, the last names that you read off there for the executive producing would be the only reason I think why this show would succeed, because those guys over there tend to want to actually produce good stories. But the problem is you have this director and you have everything that's funneled through an American company with American writers. The real big concern is hitting that score so that you have the proper representation and making sure that Godzilla has a penis but identifies as some type of female monster.
Yeah, everybody's favorite comic book destroyer, Kelly Sue DeConnick, who famously said,
"And if you don't like my politics, don't buy my book." Problem solved.
And no one did. We'll see if she kind of brings that kind of mouth to this game as well.
I got a sneaking suspicion, and the chats are saying it as well. This is going to fit into the same trap that the films have, and we're going to have a lot more human elements than the kaiju. And all people want from Godzilla is to see Mon fighting. That's all we want.
Just like in Star Wars, we just want to see Star Wars. We don't need an adult soap opera. Just like Wheel of Time, we want to see Wheel of Time that we recognize, not CW trash. And from all reports, the same thing they're going to be doing with The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. It's not going to be about Tolkien. It's going to be a big freaking soap opera with intersectional feminism.
The best way to describe it is having a WWE match, but you're focusing on the audience or like the concession stand guy versus the people in the ring who are fighting.
Yeah, Shield Wall of Dragons says, I'm calling it right now, 90% of the show will be people talking and 10% of monsters fighting. I hope it's that generous. I really do, guys. So
did anybody watch the Godzilla? It was on Netflix, I think it was called Planet of Monsters, the animated version they did.
No.
That was actually quite good. I surprisingly enjoyed it considering it was on Netflix, but I don't know. I've got a really bad feeling about this, and we don't even have Apple over here, so...
Isn't this kind of a niche kind of grouping of things to put your bank on, though? I mean, this hasn't been a real big draw for any American market, really, has it?
Well, I think what happened is it's a typical corporate boardroom behavior. They saw the kind of box office that Godzilla versus Kong had, and they think, well, we got to have Kong because the kids want the Kong or the kids want the Godzilla. And it doesn't matter what the story is. It doesn't matter any of it as long as it has Godzilla in it. That to me, in my opinion, is as far as the rationale goes with the entertainment types in the boardrooms these days. We'll look at Jacob Ironside before we roll off this Godzilla topic. Says the MonsterVerse won't be about Godzilla. It'll be about Mothra looking for her non-existent children.
Damn.
That is, of course, a reference to the incredibly unfortunate Doctor Strange 2, which I sadly gave my money to watch. As ever, this is Salty Texas Sea. I am Corey DB. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you've seen and heard, please hit that thumbs up button. If you haven't subscribed, I'd love to have you on board. That way you know, and we have things like live streams, which we are going to be doing every Tuesday evening. Take care. I hope you're having a great 2022.